Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've done a lot of videos where I've talked about like foods I've given up that helped me lose 45 pounds or healthy habits that I've added into my routine. But I realized I've never done a video about the habits that were a part of my routine that I got rid of, like I ditched to be able to lose 45 pounds. They were the game changers, the things that truly made such a huge difference. And I know if you start to incorporate some of these into your own routine, you are going to see results, whether it's weight loss, muscle tone, whatever you're looking to change, this will help. Anyways, I have hypothyroidism. I struggled with weight my entire life. I truly thought that that was who I was gonna be forever. Not only 45 pounds heavier, stuck at that weight, but I also just felt like all of the habits that I had were just like who I was, but I wasn't happy with them. Like I didn't like how I felt. So making these changes gave me so much more freedom mentally and emotionally, and help me transform my body as well. So number one is a question you ask me constantly. I get this in my DMs, I get in the comments here on YouTube, on TikTok, everywhere. People always ask me if I count calories and macros. No. That was the first thing I gave up because that was a habit that I had formed over all of those years that was so ingrained in the diet culture that I was like, deep in, and I was obsessed with it. I would go from like obsessive calorie and macro counting, trying to lose all this weight, to getting so frustrated and overwhelmed and tired that I would go to the polar opposite and start overeating, not caring what I was putting into my body and like doing way too much. So when I approached my weight loss this time, you know, that led to this whole journey and where I am and 45 pounds and everything, I let that go. I was not about it. Now, as like a personal trainer and a sports nutrition specialist, I know that there is a science to it, and at the end of the day, like it does come down to the calories you're consuming. But that's why when I build my meal plans, I do it with a registered dietitian, and we build them to make sure that they are a healthy amount of calories to fuel your body, fuel your workouts, but also help you get results. But the main thing is like to help you transition from diet culture into more intuitive eating so you don't have to think about it. I don't think about it. I know what my body needs. I look at the food I want to eat. I just eat more intuitively now. And even when I go back to my meal plans, it just helps set that foundation for me. But it's not about calories. It's not about macros. They're not in the guide. You will not see them in my plans because it was something that I had to let go of in order to actually see results. Because one, who wants to live like that? Like, it's crazy to think like you need to log in everything you're eating or count every little thing up. Like, no, that is no way to live a life. That's not a lifestyle. It's not sustainable. And I realized that when I looked back at my journey, why I was like up, down, up, down, up, down, because that's what I was doing. It didn't make any sense. So that's one of the biggest things. And two, it truly can drive you crazy and you can become so stressed and obsessed with it that it can increase your cortisol levels. Your body will hang on to extra fat instead of losing it. Like there's a lot that goes into that. So if you are counting calories, if you're counting macros, if you're stressed, unless you are a competitive athlete or bodybuilder, like what are you doing? You gotta let it go. And as a side note, most women, the reason they can't lose weight is because they are not eating enough. It's not because they're eating too much. Usually they are not eating enough because we are so used to diet culture where we're scared of carbs, we're scared of overdoing it. That is one of the biggest issues. So if you guys do my meal plans or if you have done them, you know it is a lot of food, but it's still a caloric deficit. So like, that should tell you something about how little we're actually normally eating. Another habit I gave up, this is kind of a weird one, but I feel like a lot of people relate to it. I gave up eating cakes, cookies, pizzas, whatever it was. Like, I didn't give up eating them, but I gave up eating them like one bite at a time. And what I mean by that is like when I was in the office or I was at home or anywhere, there'd be like treats or something extra that's not like your standard kind of what I want to eat every day to fuel my body, right? The extras. And I'd be like, I shouldn't have it, I shouldn't have it, I shouldn't have it. I would tell myself all this stuff, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna have like one little bite. I'd go do my work. And then I'd come back and be like, okay, just like another little bite more, and another bite, and another bite. And I'd end up eating way more than even like, say it's a donut or something. I wouldn't just eat a donut, I'd end up eating like 3 donuts because I just like had this like mentality of like, oh, just a little bit, just a little bit. And it controlled me because in my mind, I was telling myself I couldn't have those things. So then it was just this battle of like, well, okay, I want a little, but just a little. And I'm only fooling myself, right? Like no one else cares. So I'm like having this whole crazy town battle with myself. So I stopped doing that. And what I started doing instead is just If I wanted to eat a donut, I would eat a donut. If I wanted to have some cake, I'd have some cake. But I was really in tune with how things made my body feel. If you guys have watched my weight loss video, I talk about it all the time. I was focused on how I felt, mentally, physically, everything, and paying attention to how foods made my body feel. Because I used to think it was normal to feel sick, like after going to dinner. Like, that's not normal. So I would pay attention to how my body felt. So if I had a donut and I felt crappy, it kind of just helped me realize, like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I don't want to eat that. Or maybe if I do want a little thing, I'll literally have a bite because I want to get that little taste, but I know if I have more than that, like, I'm just not going to feel good. So I don't really care to have more. It's not that I feel like I'm restricting myself. I just don't want to. So that habit of like stopping eating one bite at a time really was such a game changer for me, because it allowed me to actually pay attention to how things made me feel. And it also helped me let go of the like crazy I can't mentality that I was living with for so long. The third habit I let go of was overexercising. So I would go through these spirals, I don't even know, like waves, if you will, I guess, of not doing anything for a long period of time and then being like, oh my gosh, I have to get skinny, I have to lose all this weight, I'm gonna go crazy. And I would do Tai Bo for an hour, then I'd go for a 3-mile run, and I would like challenge myself and push myself so hard because I thought that was the only way. Like, I thought that I had to go so extreme to make up for all the bad choices that I had made, or to finally actually see results, instead of realizing that like it doesn't take an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, of working out every day to lose weight and see results and be healthy. It doesn't take that extreme measure of like going super intense nonstop, because what happens, at least what happened for me, is when that was part of my routine, I would do it, I would be exhausted, I would be moody, I would be angry, then I wasn't eating enough because I'm on some crazy extreme diet. At the same time, my sleep is off, energy, like everything, my hormone levels are going crazy, right? So like everything bad starts happening, and then I'd get burnt out. So that would only last for like 2, maybe 3 weeks if I was like really in it, and then I'd get burnt out and I'd do nothing again. It's not a healthy way to live, and it's not good for your body in any way. It's not going to actually get you sustainable results, and it's not going to improve your health. You're gonna really do some damage to your body. So getting rid of over-exercising as part of my like cyclical routine was a huge game changer. So you guys know I talk about this in so many videos, but like committing to 10 minutes a day, that's where it's at. Like just moving your body for 10 minutes a day, whatever that looks like, that's where I started when I went on my 45-pound weight loss journey, which I didn't even know was gonna be a 45-pound weight loss journey, but that's where I started. I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna move at least 10 minutes a day, whatever I feel like doing today. Maybe that's a walk, maybe it's a run, maybe it's a workout like video, like whatever it was. Like I used to literally do like exercise moves out of Shape magazine and stuff, like the magazine. So whatever it was, I was gonna move for 10 minutes. And then that created a habit and a ritual and a healthy habit in my routine that I then could build on. But you guys know, if you do the Love Sweat Fitness app, like if you're in my app, the workouts are about 30 minutes. If you add on some, if it's during a challenge, maybe it's 45 minutes. If you really like feel like being extra, max an hour. But my workouts every single day are 30 to 45 minutes. That's it. I do 6 days a week, but only 3 days a week of really strength. The other days are more mix of different types of cardio, or like just a rest, like an active rest day. That's really important to me, just to stay in that habit of moving. But those days are usually a lot shorter, like very mellow. But just move. Like that's really the key. For me, that was the biggest game changer, ditching the over-exercising and replacing it with a healthy habit in my routine. Number 4, I've talked about this one a lot, but getting rid of the habit of weighing myself. I used to weigh myself daily, then I would try to cut to weekly. Like I was obsessed with a scale. And as women, our weight can fluctuate like 3 to 5 pounds, kind of any given day, depending on water weight, what time of the month it is. The scale is not a good way to measure your actual progress, because it only tells you really one part of the picture. And even if you have a great digital scale, which I love, those give you more of the picture for sure, it can still become obsessive, right? So for me, I mean, I literally can't tell you the last time I weighed myself. I have one in the bathroom, but I don't even look at it anymore. Like maybe once a year, maybe. I take photos. I see how I fit in my clothes. Like, to me, that is the best way to measure your progress, to see what's actually physically changing in your body. Because I weigh more now than I did when I first lost 45 pounds, but my body is way more toned. I have more muscle definition. Like, I've gained more muscle. All of those things matter and they make a difference. So if you're weighing yourself every day, stop. The most I recommend to clients or girls doing my programs to weigh yourself is like once a month at the most, just as like a baseline. If you want to like check in and just be like, not like, oh my gosh, I somehow gained 20 pounds. Like, just kind of keep that baseline, but not to actually measure how your body is, how your health is, what your weight's doing, because there's so much more to that story. And the fifth and final and probably biggest game-changing habit that I ditched from my routine, I stopped eating food from places that I didn't have to get out of my car to get. So you'd be like, okay, fast food, Katie, just say that. But I still eat some food that is fast, but there are places that I actually have to like park and walk into, like a Cava or Chipotle or something like that, right? They're like better for you options usually, healthier, fresher ingredients. I didn't grow up eating fast food. Like, it was not normal really. Once in a while we'd have stuff, but like it wasn't like the norm. So then like in college especially, I feel like I went like deep and I would have fast food every single day. When I went out at night, we would drink, we would get fast food. Like, it just became such a part of my daily routine. And beyond the fact that it's loaded with way more calories. If you were to take a burger and make it at home, like I make burgers at home all the time that are amazing, the calories are just so different. So like, not only is that the thing, and all the salt and all of that kind of stuff that's just like affecting you, the processed food in general is going to have a really big impact on your health. And me with hypothyroidism, that to me, going back to like paying attention to how I felt, that was a huge red flag for me, because I started realizing, oh my gosh, when I eat this stuff, I feel like garbage. Like, I physically feel like garbage. Nothing to do with my weight. My body does not feel okay. And our bodies start to adjust and get used to it and stuff, but that overly highly processed food, there are so many reasons why we should eliminate it or limit it at the minimum from our diets that have nothing to do with your waistline. It's all about your health, your well-being, your hormones, like all of that stuff. So stopped going to places that I didn't have to get out of my car to get the food from, and that really did make a difference for me. I noticed immediately feeling so much better, just in my energy every day, my digestion. Like I said, I used to go to restaurants or go to fast food and I'd feel ill, like cramping and ill, and just think that was normal. It's not normal. It's not okay. All right, you guys, so I hope you like this video and kind of hearing some of those habits that I removed from my routine to help me lose 45 pounds. They're really, to me, the key 5 that made the biggest difference. I'm sure there's a lot more, so I'll keep thinking about them. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up and comment down below so I know to make more, and I will think of some more of these habits that I took out of my routine. I added a lot of stuff to my routine, and I'll keep making those videos for you guys too. But next week, I'm gonna be sharing more details on our 8-week spring challenge. I want you guys to do this with me. It is going to be so much fun. We're gonna go through a warm-up week. We're gonna have different body parts that we're targeting each week, and then a recovery and transition week at the end. I'm gonna guide you through every step of it, including reversing through the meal plan, which is something we haven't done in a challenge before. So I can't wait to share all the details and open up the signups with you soon. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you're not already. I love you so much. I'll see you next week. Bye.